Man vs. 50 with author Richard Maloof.
How's it going, man?
Good.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks. Good to see you too. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Yeah, very nice. Today's a cool day. You know, I just come up with these random ideas.
Yeah,
and
this was random.
Michelle had said something to me, and I said, honestly, I love almost every song this person sings, and if I could listen to one artist for the rest of my life, if I had to listen to one artist the rest of my life, this is who it'd be.
Okay.
So then I came up with the idea of basically, if you only had 5 spots open on a playlist and you had to build this playlist, and we were like, this is the last playlist you can ever make, and you can only pick 5 bands or artists to be on it, who would it be? And so it gave me the idea, interesting to see what you would pick versus me.
Yeah.
Of our last 5. I always say it's like our last 5. I always come up with, you know how you come up with these hypotheticals?
Yeah.
I just like, because it helps with the list. If you could only pick 5 artists to listen to the rest of your life. It's a hypothetical, but it's still kind of a cool thing to think about. So we decided to put this together and do a podcast on it so we could see what each other would say. And I can tell by the t-shirt, probably one of them, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay. So like we do before we do our list, again, for those people who subscribe to us, you know, it's really helping us out. Our numbers are really growing fast. More people are tuning in, getting a lot of good comments. So really appreciate it, but please hit the subscribe button. YouTube likes that. We like it. It's good. So again, thank you for everyone who has subscribed and who tunes in. All right. Okay. Like we do our lists, we go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So,
all right,
Chris Ball, number 5.
Yeah, let's hit it.
Of your last 5 artists that you could ever listen to.
Yep.
George Strait. This is so Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, this is so Texas.
Well, so few reasons, right?
Okay.
I love George Strait.
Right.
He's a great artist, but I always try to find a loophole in everything I do. My mom and dad said I should have been a lawyer because, man, I could skirt around things. George Strait has collaborated with so many people that if I get to listen to the archive that is George Strait, I actually get a lot of other people in there.
I see. That makes sense. That's a good pick.
From a country artist perspective, this definitely top pick.
Yeah, I know at the rodeo, he like closes out the rodeo every year and things like that. So I know people are just infatuated with him. I couldn't even tell you one song that he sings. Maybe if I heard it.
I think you probably know more than I know. Think you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But
who was I? There was a song that
he does
came on
at the end of the show. He does "The Cowboy Rides Away" is his song, and so he gets on the horse.
Oh, that's cool.
And he rides around and then rides out of the arena.
That's pretty cool. I would go see him just because
he's a great performer.
How old is
he? He's in his 70s.
Okay.
What I loved, and so every summer for I don't know, 3 or 4 summers, he came to Houston. And I mean, it's right around the summertime. Right. And my sister's birthday's in July. And so I would take her to go see George Strait. And every year there was someone new opening for him.
That's cool.
We got to see this new guy open for him. Yeah. Alan Jackson.
That's cool.
I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
great performer.
I would go for the nostalgia and just say I got to see George Strait because I heard it's amazing. But yeah, okay, this is why we do our list.
Yep.
So we can see.
I know he's not on your list, but that's okay.
You would be 100% right. He's not on my list. All right, number 5. Richard, The Fray.
The Fray.
Okay, so
that's deep.
Not a lot of people know who they are. I mean, some people, you've heard their songs.
Yes.
Trust me. This was very impactful going through a certain part of my life. I listened to him every song, but if you really listen to his words, he was going through divorce or almost a divorce and this and that. And I've seen them 3 times in concert. And the first time I saw him was in Birmingham at this like Verizon Pavilion thing. It was like it was almost like the Woodlands Pavilion, pretty biggish stage, bigger than the Pavilion actually, but it was cool. It was like a dome, like a kind of like a slanted into outdoors, everything.
Oh, cool.
It was amazing. It was like 70 degrees that night. The music was amazing. They sound amazing. It's just one of those things, speaking of nostalgia, is like very impactful. Went with a buddy of mine, Freddie, and it was one of those nights I just will never forget. But the music is amazing. I love them. And like I said, I saw them here in Houston. I saw them one other place. So the Fray, I love the Fray. Okay. Cool songs, you know, very thought-provoking songs. You got to listen to the words. I'm big on that. Yeah. So kind of plays to my deeper side because I really, really, I mean, they're just so good. Yeah. So, all right, number 5, the Fray.
That's a good pick.
Number 4, Chris.
There it is.
Yeah, I do love the Foo Fighters. I do love the Foo Fighters. They're really good.
Okay, so I'm going to go back before Foo Fighters. My best friend growing up was in the Marine Corps, was stationed in Pendleton in California. Came home on leave, 91. And every time he came home, you know, it was like, we'll spend as much time together as we can. You know, let's just go, right? So he brings, again, we'll date ourselves here. I've already said 91, but he brought this cassette, right? And it was the Memorex cassette tape that was clear. Remember those with the, like the geometric shapes on them, you know, and everything. Anyway, he goes, and at this time, I had my Suzuki Samurai, woohoo, and a box, 10-inch, 210s in the back. Had this huge system. Anyway.
I love 210s.
It was perfect. Okay, anyway, so he goes, he gets in the car and he goes, you have to listen to this. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, it's a new band. I got a copy of a copy of a copy. And I'm like, okay, great. So we stick it into the cassette player. It's Nirvana. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, I mean, the first song, right? I think I'm trying to remember. I think it Smells Like Teen Spirit, but I mean, just the riff, the opening riff of it. And I'm like, oh, what the heck is this, right? But I love the drums in any band. That's something I'm drawn to. Dude, Dave Grohl.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Just amazing.
Love him.
I'll tell on myself here. Foo Fighters came out somewhere around the same time that the Goo Goo Dolls came out. I'd heard the Goo Goo Dolls songs, and somehow in my mind, I made Goo Goo Dolls and Foo Fighters the same band, and was under the Goo Goo Dolls. Well, that's not my thing.
Totally different.
Yeah. And so for 20 some odd years, every time I hear the name Foo Fighters, I think Goo Goo Dolls. So I didn't listen to the Foo Fighters until COVID.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Now, what's funny, we talked about George Strait, you know more than you think. I knew a lot of Foo Fighters songs.
You just didn't know
I just didn't know that was the Foo Fighters.
That's interesting.
But I love this band.
I do love the Foo Fighters. I like him. I think Dave Grohl is
great.
Awesome. Yeah, I do like him. So that's a big part of it.
Sad about Taylor, but But anyway.
You see his son, like when that was cool.
Dude's coming along. They just fired the drummer.
Maybe.
I'm wondering.
I don't know.
He's 18 now.
Anybody our age, is there anything else that you could just say 210s and they would know exactly what you're talking about?
Right. You know, I did just say that, didn't I? Yeah. I knew you'd know.
That there'd be subwoofers in the back of your car. That was such a big thing for us.
Yes.
I went to an accessory store the other day for cars, and they had like a sub box. And I'm like, when is the last time someone has installed a sub box in the back of their car? Because all cars kind of come with subs.
With 20 speakers.
But is there anything else you can be like, I had a kicker in the back?
Yeah, no.
If I said that to someone young, they'd be like, huh?
Yeah.
Bazooka tube?
Oh, I had one of those. Yes.
210s. But if you just say 210s, there's nothing else you can just say with limited description, and people our age will know exactly what you're talking about. I had 210s in the back.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it rattled the crap out of your, you'd see people park like at a light next to you, and the trunk was like, like insane. Okay.
Anyway. All right. Foo Fighters for me.
All right. Number 4, Richard, Post Malone.
Yeah, I knew he'd be on your list.
Yeah, so
I like him.
6 times I've seen him live in concert. I mean, I've seen him in Seattle, I've seen him in Scottsdale, I've seen him in Houston. I mean, where else? Some other place I can't think right now, but awesome. Just awesome. Like, great in concert.
He's a great performer.
Great performer. A cool story. So years ago, he was coming to the Woodlands Pavilion. And for people who don't know the Pavilion, it's an outdoor theater. Yeah. It's very small. There's some seats. Everyone else sits on the lawn. You know, it's kind of a cool vibe. And he was coming there, and not a lot of people even knew who he was. And I knew like one of his songs, a couple of his songs.
Psycho.
But I was just like, but there was the same thing. I knew way more. I'm like, that's Post Malone. So, but nobody knew who he was. And I remember at work, I was telling everybody I'm going to the Post Malone concert. And they're like, who is that? They didn't know who it was. And I remember I'd called Michelle, and, you know, because of the med spa, she has a lot of reps that can get their hands on tickets, things like that. And I'm like, hey, I want to go see Post Malone. And she was kind of like, who, what? She was, okay, I'll get some tickets and we'll go, whatever. And so we went, and we were sitting about 5 rows from the stage.
Nice.
Dude, it was awesome. I videotaped a ton of it, but this was before he blew up. And I swear, like the next day, he blew up. Yeah. But I got to see him like up and coming. Early. Yeah. So it was great. Yeah. So
that's cool.
He's awesome. Great performer. I don't like the country stuff. I got to be honest.
I went to that show.
Yeah. Do you like it?
He does a good job.
He does a good job. He's talented.
He's just talented.
I don't.
Yeah.
I
think that from a words perspective, listen to the words of the song. I think they're funny. Yeah, a lot of the stories that he tells are good. Look, it's better than his random rap. There is no story there. It's just words that rhyme, and he's done. Go back and look at some of them. Anyway, no, I'm not wrong.
You are okay. Well, give me a song that you're. Oh, White Iverson.
No, all right. I don't know his
Candy
songs.
Paint.
No, it was something that came out around Psycho. It was just we even pulled up the lyrics as he was singing, and we were like,
okay, you have to. Maybe I'll help you through it.
All right. No, you don't have to help me through it. It was.
I want to see it. Send me it,
okay,
and I'll be a judge.
Right.
Okay.
And somebody out there knows what I'm talking about.
Okay. So. Number 3 for Chris.
Let's go.
What is this?
What is this? All right. So this is a Christian band.
Okay. Michelle said that.
Yeah.
Michelle said she thinks it's a Christian band.
It is. And so, all right. So again, for I 5 musicians or artists that I can listen to forever. This is it, right? They are amazing, inspirational artists. But the music is so good, and the singing is just, it's amazing. It's not like sitting in church.
Right.
And so it's not, a few albums of church songs, which nothing wrong with that. Let me just, Lord, I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Okay.
But anyway, this is a great band. They've been around for 30 years. They came out with the song I Can Only Imagine. And that was, there's a movie that's been made about it. The lead singer had written the song. It got in front of Amy Grant. Amy Grant, said, I'd love to sing this song, and he would make royalties, off of the song. Yeah. And she called him back and she goes, I can't do it. You have to do this.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
So she made time at her concert for him to come up and sing the song, and boom, launched the career.
You should come to our church one time, the Loft.
Yeah.
I think you would like it.
It's a lot of stuff like this.
Yes. I think you would like it. I think you cool. They're redoing it, so in a couple months they'll be back in the new space, but I think you'd like it. All right.
Okay.
Number 3. Are you curious like what?
I am very.
Number 3. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I would venture to say, I would fight to say, I think Axl Rose has the best voice back when he was young.
Back then, yeah.
That I've ever heard. I mean, if you listen to some of those songs,
it's pretty amazing.
Like his range
is crazy.
It's insane. And how just that high but low, it's like November Rain and it is like Don't Cry. I mean, these songs give me goosebumps when I'm listening to them. I mean, they're so good. So good. I mean, so I just think like this from them, what I like about them is they have music that can make you cry.
Yeah.
And they have music that'll make you want to run through a brick wall. You know what I mean? So it gives you the best of everything.
Yeah,
and
agree.
I think, and I say this like I'm some musical expert and somebody who might hear this be like, you're an idiot, and that's fine. But I feel like Slash is like the most underrated guitar player. Like, I mean, he's so good. Yeah. I mean, when you hear some of these solos and some of these songs, you're just like,
how does somebody do that? And
it's so cool because he's cool. He's got that look. Yep. And he's playing like a couple of these songs. He's like out in the desert just jamming and throws his guitar. It's just, when I watch these guys and when I watch some of that other stuff, I'm so fortunate. We're so fortunate that we grew up in a time that there was real rock stars. Yes. I mean, these guys are real rock stars. Yes. These guys are jamming. They're not, this isn't synthesized crap. Right. These guys are true musicians. I mean, these guys are bad.
No auto-tune.
No. These guys
Axl Rose sang that.
Yes, it's amazing. I've been watching some classic rock stuff, and it makes me appreciate, like, back then. Yeah. Like, I was watching a live performance of Leonard Skinner, Freebird. Yeah. Have you ever seen this?
Yeah. I mean,
it was like, it's a live performance. Okay. And there's a guitar at the end. I mean, it's like 10 minutes long. The guy's just jamming. I'm like, how is he not getting tired? I mean, that's it. But it makes me appreciate like some of that classic stuff. Yeah. I watched one on another one of your people that you like, but it was amazing. It was amazing. So I have a appreciation now for like rock stars. Agree. All right. Number 2, Chris. All right. Yeah. I was about ready to say something about them. I watched a thing on them last night. A couple things, but they were doing Stairway to Heaven. Yeah. And that performance and Jimmy Page jamming on the guitar.
Madison Square Garden? Is that the one they were? Because that's one of the more popularized ones.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, do you ever wonder? I always wonder this, and maybe you wonder this, but when someone sat there and was writing Stairway to Heaven, did that person know? I'm not sure who wrote it. Maybe you know, but did that person know that they were writing a piece of history in that moment? Like.
Did they go, this is a hit?
Yeah. I mean, were they like, oh, this is going to be good? Yeah. Because there's a lot of bands that were like, we didn't even want to play this song on our album, and it was their only number one hit. Right. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. Yeah. But, I mean, did someone who penned this, and I want to do a podcast on the words to that song. Okay. Because it's pretty amazing. Okay. Some of the stuff they say. Okay. So, but I just wonder if someone's writing this song and like, man, I got something here. I'd love to hear that story and how that came about. So
these guys, I found out about these guys, kind of, we grew up in the 80s, right? So we were hair bands by that point, right? We didn't really hear about the 70s anymore, right? We didn't, but I started to dabble into that, and I run across, I think it was Black Dog, I think was the song. And I was like, who is this? And wow, what a world it opened up. I have been working over the last, 3 or 4 years to collect every vinyl album that they made.
That's cool.
That's original, not the reprint stuff. This is all original. And right now I've got them all. But there's one album that has like 6 different covers. Yeah. And so I'm working to get that one.
That's cool.
And it's pretty neat. But anyway, the really cool thing is I worked in the hotel business for 20 some odd years. I got to meet Jimmy Page and Robert Plant.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, it was insane. We didn't like hang out, right? Because you can't.
Obviously.
But I got to see them. I was the assistant director of housekeeping, so I had to go check their rooms.
Yeah, that's cool.
Jimmy Page had this library of CDs that he traveled with, and I thought, who does he listen to? Yeah, and I didn't recognize any name in there. They were all printed labels, like from there, not handwritten or anything. But I did look up, and it was all blues and jazz. But that's his basis.
Yeah, that's cool.
But anyway,
that's cool.
They were both really cool guys.
I'm having an appreciation for classic music lately, so that's cool.
Good, welcome.
Yes. All right, Richard,
All right.
number two. I know you have no clue where I'm going, right?
No, I have no idea. Wow.
I love
Okay.
Journey.
I do too.
I love Journey.
I think they're great. We
Yes.
saw them, I did not with Steve Perry, but
Yeah, okay.
but
So Steve Perry, I mean.
the Steve Perry journey. Yeah.
So I watched something on it the other night on Journey, and Journey existed. They were a band before, and they just kind of had like, and they needed a lead singer, and they got one guy, and it kind of was, and then they got Steve Perry, and some of the songs again they were like, and then as soon as he like sang them, it just took on a whole nother.
He put them on the map.
I mean, I love Journey. I mean, some of their songs are just.
Boy, is that just 80s?
So 80s.
Screaming 80s right
so
there.
80s, but
And the perm.
God, I miss that, man.
I do too.
I miss that because it's just so organic and true, and everything now is half the stuff you watch isn't even real. It's all AI.
Yeah.
But this is just
That's good music.
cool.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, man, these are rock stars.
Yeah.
These aren't like,
Again, no auto tune.
no,
This
no
was
sampling everyone else's music. No, but these are
They
rock
played
stars.
music. Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome.
good stuff.
It's awesome.
Good pick.
You like
I
that?
Yeah. I
All
like that one.
right. Again, if I could only listen to 5. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Number 1.
Does anybody know?
Yeah.
Oh, nice picture.
That's a cool picture.
Yes, I love that one.
Again,
Yep.
Eddie Van Halen.
Yes.
I mean, rock star.
He is.
Right.
He is the legend.
Yes.
I mean, he talked about Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton. He learned how to play the guitar. His dad was a musician. He learned how to play the guitar by listening to Eric Clapton records, and he slowed him down. You remember how you could...
Yeah.
I don't remember the numbers. Whatever they are, 75 and 33 or 33. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So he slowed it down, got his guitar, listened to Eric Clapton, and began to play. Didn't read music. Never read music.
Okay. That you can slow it down. I could slow it down. No.
I'm still going to sit there.
No.
I don't know what happened.
No. You have there's a piece in your brain that he has or we don't have.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because my buddy Marcus, that I used to race BMX with, could listen to a song on the radio and play it on a keyboard or a guitar.
Wow.
And that's just a gift.
It is.
That's a musical gift that I mean, you just have that. I mean, for him to be able to slow down, I could slow down a lot of things and still never do it.
Agree.
But to slow it down and teach himself how to play guitar.
Yep. So, and he was originally gifted from his parents a drum set, and his brother Alex was gifted the guitar.
And they switched.
But they switched because while his brother was out on his newspaper route, Eddie went over and picked up the guitar and started playing and thought, oh, I like this better.
Yeah.
So they switched, and Alex became the drummer, which
That's a
again,
cool story.
You talked about Slash being an underrated guitarist. I really think Alex Van Halen is a very underrated drummer. I mean, the stuff that he does is amazing.
But what a cool, I mean, these are real.
Again,
rock
and he
stars.
made his guitar. Like, he was playing the guitar and he's like, this doesn't do what I wanted to do. I wonder if I change, and again, same thing as slowing down a record. He said, I wonder if I change okay, you're out of my league. I don't even know what you're talking about. And he flipped the guitar over and he did this, he hollowed this out and he did all this stuff. Oh, there's the sound I want. And if you listen to any Van Halen song, you know that's Eddie playing. And what the funny part was, he played in Michael Jackson's Beat It.
Yeah, I remember that.
Played the solo.
I remember that.
And I remember it was a no-no for the band to go do anything outside of the band. So he did it for $1. Quincy Jones called him, said, hey, I want you to come play for this kid. And he's like, I'll help the kid out. Sure.
Right.
He didn't know who Michael Jackson was.
Right.
I mean, he knew Jackson 5, right? But sure, I'll help the kid out. Plays the solo. I'm listening to the solo on the radio when the song Beat It comes out. Loved Michael Jackson.
Right.
The song comes out and I'm like, that sounds like Eddie Van Halen. but why would Eddie Van Halen be playing on Michael Jackson? So anyway, years later, come to find that out.
Wasn't there another song like Dirty Diana that Slash played on or something?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, there's cool. Okay, so
anyway,
I love Van Halen back then. Do you like Sammy Hagar, Van Halen?
Yeah.
I do too. And that gets a bad, weird thing. Do you like David Lee Roth?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, my grandmother, for my 12th birthday, 1984 had come out.
Oh, yeah.
So my grandmother goes to Sound Warehouse and goes in and she goes, young man, I need a birthday present for my grandson. And how old is he turning? He's 12. Okay. And so he picks up 2 albums and he goes, okay, one of these. And she goes, that one. And she picked 1984 because it had a cute baby on the front. Right. Now she gives it to me and my mom looks at it, birthday, I open it, it's mine. Yay. My mom goes, but he's got a cigarette in his hand and like packs of cigarettes.
Such old school back then.
But the other one, Billy Squier.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the choice that she made, and she picked Van Halen. So I could have gone the Billy Squier route. But anyway.
84 was great. Like Jump is such a good. I mean that.
So speaking of though, I'm wearing the vintage.
Okay, so you are wearing the vintage Van Halen. How old is that shirt?
This is 93.
1993 from a concert.
From the concert.
Okay, so you have a original concert tee Van Halen. You said someone offered you.
Well, I have 10 or 12 Van Halen shirts and concert shirts.
I wish I would have saved mine stuff.
Yeah, it's the only concert shirts I've saved, from the 90s. And I have a shirt that's worth about $300.
That's crazy.
I'm not ever going to sell it.
I had shirts from the Peoria Civic Center and all these bands I saw. I wish I would have kept. Gosh, I would have kept.
I got to meet them too, and they were so nice.
I'm shocked you got out of the hotel business with all your stories.
I
know. Anyway,
they were cool. Anyway,
you have a lot.
Definitely number one.
Okay, number one.
Your number one is your number one, but Van Halen is supreme. Anyway, I'm just saying.
Okay,
this one will trump your number one, but
I think my number one is going to throw you for a loop.
I am not going to be surprised.
But because go back to like Hopeless Romantic, Deep Thinking.
Ooh, you're going okay.
There's something. I swear every song.
Going ABBA?
No. Every song this guy sings, I love. I love him. I love his voice. I just love him.
Richard Marx?
Almost. You ready?
Yeah. Lionel Richie.
I love Lionel Richie.
Not wrong.
I mean, love. And this is how it came up the other day. Say You, Say Me was playing.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm singing to Michelle. And I go, I love Lionel Richie. And I think I could listen. If I had to pick one person to listen to the rest of my life, it'd be Lionel Richie. And that's how this came up.
Okay.
Because I love Lionel Richie. And I was like, I was trying to educate her. I was like playing the song. I was like, do you know who this is singing? And she's like, no. I go, have you ever heard of the Commodores?
Uh-huh.
I go, well, Lionel Richie was in the Commodores. And she's like, what? I said, yeah. I mean, this guy is like legit.
You want to talk about a loophole, like I said, with George Strait and collaborating?
Yeah.
This dude collaborated with everybody.
Yes. But his songs are legit.
He wrote songs for so many artists that it's insane if you find that out.
If you really dive deep into some of this stuff. And, the thing is about Lionel Richie, so many songs over so many like decades too. And when I think of like real rock stars, not necessarily like a rock star, but he's a big time musician. Like he is big time. You know what I mean? And you don't realize like back then, these guys, like you said, collaborated. They have their hands in so many other things because they're so talented. Everybody wants to work with them, write a song from them, something. But man, Lionel Richie, I love Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just recap real quick, Chris. Your 5-ish list: George Strait, Foo Fighters, Mercy Me, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen. I'm going to try to listen to some Mercy Me.
I think you'll like it a lot.
I think I would probably like it too.
I really do.
And then my recap: Richard the Fray, Post Malone, GNR, man. GNR. Man. My top 3 were top Journey. I mean, I could listen anytime, any of them.
Yep.
So Journey and Lionel Richie. So those are our list of, if we had, I always say, of like, what were those things called? Like the little You know the thing that Sony came out with that we used to populate MP3s on?
I
want to say iPad. It's not an iPad. It's
iPod.
iPod. I remember that with the iPod where it didn't have a screen. It just had music. And then they came out the one with the screen.
Yep.
Yeah, that was cool. My friend was still, even when we had those, he still went to the gym, Scotty.
Yeah.
Still went to the gym with the portable CD player on his waist with the headphones. So
nice.
Just a little insight on that, dude.
Wired headphone.
Yeah, it was
for
crazy.
those of you
so
that
again,
are young.
Great lists. Both are awesome.
Yep.
I am definitely getting into classic rock, and I'm going to listen to some more. And I do want to do a dive in a few songs and the lyrics, and
cool,
and kind of digest and see what those are.
Sounds good.
Say what they mean or what they mean to us. So, all right, man.
Okay.
Good job.
Good stuff.
Thanks for watching Man vs. 50 with author Richard Maloof. Don't forget to subscribe.